They have won Champions Leagues. They have won league titles. They have won golden boots, Ballon d'Ors, records, money, fame, and everything football can give. But there is one trophy that still refuses to belong to them: the FIFA World Cup. And for some of these legends, 2026 may be their final chance. Today, we are looking at famous players who still have not won the World Cup. Some are still chasing it. Some are almost out of time. And one or two may finish their careers with the most painful sentence in football: a legend of the game, but never a world champion. Let's start with the biggest name on the list:
Cristiano Ronaldo. 5 Ballon d'Ors, Champions League legend, Portugal's all-time top scorer, one of the most famous athletes in human history. But after everything he has done, Cristiano Ronaldo still has 0 World Cups. And that is the one argument his critics will always use. Portugal won Euro 2016. They won the Nations League. Ronaldo has broken almost every individual record possible. But the World Cup has always escaped him. In 2006, Portugal reached the semi-final. In 2010, they were knocked out by Spain. In 2014, they went out in the group stage. In 2018, Uruguay ended the dream. In 2022, Morocco shocked Portugal in the quarterfinal. And now, in 2026, Ronaldo is back again. At 41 years old, at his 6th World Cup. This is not just another tournament for him. This is the final chapter. Because Messi already won his World Cup in 2022. And whether Ronaldo fans like it or not, that changed the conversation forever. Ronaldo does not need a World Cup to be a legend. But without it, there will always be one empty space in his trophy cabinet.
Next is Neymar. And Neymar's World Cup story is almost painful to explain. Because for Brazil, he was supposed to be the chosen one. The player who would bring back the magic. The player who would connect the era of Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and Kaká to a new Brazilian dynasty. But it never happened. In 2014, Brazil hosted the World Cup. Neymar was flying. 4 goals, the face of the nation. Then came the injury against Colombia. And without him, Brazil suffered the most humiliating night in their football history. Germany 7. Brazil 1. In 2018, Neymar returned. But Belgium knocked Brazil out in the quarterfinal. In 2022, Neymar scored a beautiful goal against Croatia. For a few minutes, it looked like his World Cup moment had finally arrived. Then Croatia equalized. Then Brazil lost on penalties. Neymar cried on the pitch. And Brazil went home again. Now, in 2026, Neymar's story is no longer about potential. It is about time. He has the goals. He has the fame. He has the talent. But the question is simple. Can Neymar's Brazil finally win the one trophy that makes Brazilian legends immortal? Because in Brazil, greatness is different. A Champions League is not enough. A scoring record is not enough. If you wear number 10 for Brazil, people expect one thing: the World Cup. Harry Kane is one of the strangest cases in football, because individually, he has done almost everything a striker can do. England's all-time leading scorer, Premier League icon, Bayern Munich superstar, 2018 World Cup Golden Boot winner, 6 goals in 1 tournament. But still, no World Cup. And not only that, for most of his career, Kane was haunted by a bigger story: no major team trophy, for club or country. England came close in 2018, They reached the semifinal, but Croatia broke their dream. England came close again at the Euros, but penalty heartbreak returned. That is why Kane's World Cup story feels so heavy, because he is not just chasing the trophy for himself, he is chasing it for England, a country that has waited since 1966. Every tournament starts the same way. The media says this could be England's year. The squad looks strong. The fans believe. And then, pressure arrives. For Kane, 2026 is not just about scoring goals. It is about changing the ending. Because if he wins the World Cup, he becomes untouchable in English football history. But if he does not, he may be remembered as one of the greatest strikers ever, who carried England close, but never carried them all the way. Luka Modric came closer than almost anyone on this list. Russia. Croatia shocked the world. A country of less than 4 million people reached the World Cup final. And at the center of it all was Modric. Not the biggest, not the fastest, not the strongest, but maybe the smartest player on the pitch. He controlled games like a conductor. He dragged Croatia through extra time, penalties, exhaustion, pressure, and history. He won the Golden Ball as the best player of the tournament. But Croatia lost the final to France. And that is what makes Modric's story so emotional. He did not fail. He overachieved. He took Croatia further than almost anyone thought possible. But the trophy still went somewhere else. In 2022, Croatia finished third. Again, Modric was there. Again, Croatia punched above their weight. Again, he proved that football is not only about speed and power. It is about brain, rhythm, and courage. But the World Cup trophy? Still missing. And now, in 2026, every Modric appearance feels like history. Because he is not just playing against opponents anymore, he is playing against time. Kevin De Bruyne may be the perfect example of a nearly great generation. Belgium had everything. De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku, Courtois, Company, Vertonghen. A golden generation full of Premier League stars, Champions League stars, and world-class talent. And in 2018, they looked ready. Belgium beat Brazil. De Bruyne scored one of the most iconic goals of that tournament. For a moment, it looked like Belgium's golden generation was finally going to become golden for real. Then France stopped them in the semifinal. Belgium finished third. A great achievement, but not the trophy. And after that, the golden generation slowly started to fade. 2022 was disappointing. The team looked older. The chemistry was questioned. The dream felt like it had passed. Now, De Bruyne is still here. Still brilliant. Still capable of one pass that changes a match. But the question is no longer whether Belgium had enough talent. They did. The question is whether they missed their moment. Because sometimes in football, you do not get 10 chances. Sometimes you get one real window. And if you do not take it, history moves on. Mohamed Salah's World Cup story is different because unlike Ronaldo, Neymar, or Kane, Salah has never had a super team around him. He has carried Egypt with expectation, pressure, and national pride on his shoulders. At club level, Salah became a Liverpool legend, Premier League champion, Champions League winner, one of the greatest African players ever. But with Egypt, the World Cup has been brutal. In 2018, he arrived injured after the Champions League final. Egypt lost all 3 group games. Salah scored, but the tournament was gone almost before it began. Then Egypt missed the 2022 World Cup. And for years, it felt like the world might never see Salah properly at this stage again. But in 2026, Egypt are back. And Salah is back. This is why his story matters. Because for Egypt, even getting out of the group would mean something huge. This is not just about one player chasing a trophy. This is about a nation chasing respect on the biggest football stage. Salah may never have the same World Cup pathway as Messi or Ronaldo, but if he takes Egypt deep into the tournament, that could become its own kind of greatness.
So here is the truth. The World Cup is cruel. It does not care how famous you are. It does not care how many club trophies you have. It does not care how many goals you scored in the Champions League. One bad game, one injury, one penalty shootout, one moment, and your dream is gone for 4 years. That is why this trophy is different. Ronaldo is chasing the ending Messi already got. Neymar is chasing Brazil's lost magic. Kane is chasing England's history. Modric is chasing one last miracle. De Bruyne is chasing the dream Belgium almost touched. Salah is chasing a nation's respect. And Haaland is chasing the beginning of a new World Cup legacy. Some of them may still win it. Most of them probably will not. But that is what makes the World Cup beautiful. It does not always give legends what they deserve. Sometimes it only gives them one last chance. So, tell me in the comments, which player deserves a World Cup the most? And which legend do you think will retire without ever winning it? Subscribe because we are following every story, every record, and every heartbreak of World Cup 2026, all the way to the final.